Imagine you're a little kid playing outside. You're sitting on your front step with your favorite toy. You've heard planes flying over all day. That always happens. Then suddenly, with earthquake force, the ground shakes and a ripple effect goes by you. As you get up to run to your mother, you're knocked down by a force and then heat, similar to the atmosphere of the sun. How many of you have heard of Nagasaki or Hiroshima? Okay. Did you know that approximately 120,000 people were killed between the two islands? The main idea for my speech is to give you an overview of the Manhattan Project. My grandfather, who fought in World War II, was part of the Pacific Theater, and so historical events relating to this era has always interested me. The crumbling status of world politics, nuclear reactors, and toxic chemicals, and the final product, an atomic bomb, are all major parts of the Manhattan Project. Now to my first topic of the crumbling political status of the world. The crumbling status of world politics led to the start of the Manhattan Project. From the Nuclear Weapon Archive website, this quote covers the main idea of why the atomic bomb was created. At the same time that the key discoveries in neutron physics and neutron reactions were occurring, the political situation around the world was deteriorating. Japan and Germany were both heading in severe militaristic areas, causing America to tremble with fear. September 1935, the Nuremberg Law started oppressing the Jewish people in Germany. July 1937, Japan invades China. In the book World War II, The Definitive History, Germany is stated as trying to create an atomic bomb to compete in the scientific world. And Japan was on the hit list for the bomb because of the lack of cooperation following the Potsdam Declaration. Leo Szilard, an Austro-Hungarian physicist who discovered nuclear chain reactions, wrote a letter to Albert Einstein warning of possible nuclear weapons being used in war. The Einstein letter, as it was later called, was delivered to President Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt then decided to bring together what was known as the Briggs Uranium Committee. From there, the Manhattan Project, first known as the S-1 Project, came to be under the guidance of Colonel Leslie Gross. The project, which began on September 17, 1942, led by Colonel Leslie Gross of the United States Army, who also helped in creation of the Pentagon, and Robert Oppenheimer, a scientist from Harvard and Cambridge. On the 18th of September, 1,250 tons of Belgian-Congo uranium was purchased, and the project was to begin. The purchase of this type of uranium leads to my next topic, the chemicals in nuclear reactors. The nuclear reactors and toxic chemicals involved in the Manhattan Project. The first toxic chemical is uranium-235. This specific type of uranium is of a fissile isotope. So I want to break this down for you. Fissile means capable of fission according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Fission means the splitting of an atomic nucleus resulting in the release of large amounts of energy, also known as heat. The next toxic chemical is plutonium-239, a byproduct from which nuclear reactors was also found to be highly reactive and was soon investigated in the use of an atomic bomb. Plutonium is the decay part of the uranium, and plutonium is highly radioactive, and if around for long periods of time can cause serious damage to humans. Uranium, on the other hand, in its regular state is not toxic or highly reactive. The two main nuclear reactors used in this project, the first one is the Hanford nuclear site on the Columbia River in Washington State. The Hanford site was responsible for the production of plutonium, and at the site the main objective was chemically processing the plutonium. The Oak Ridge site in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which most of you have probably heard about, the Oak Ridge site was responsible for the production of the uranium used. And at this site, the main objective was electromagnetic separation. After all of this tedious work, the final result was the first atomic bomb, which is my final point. The final use of the atomic bombs created in the Manhattan Project. Both bombs were dropped by B-29 bombers. The first bomb, dropped on the 5th of August, 1945, on the Japanese island of Hiroshima, was named Little Boy, and was assembled at the Oak Ridge site. The Enola Gay, which is the B-29 bomber that dropped Little Boy, was flown by Lieutenant Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, Most of you all have heard about this from your history classes. The Enola Gay was named after Lieutenant Colonel Tippett's mother. The second bomb, dropped on the 9th of August 1945 on the island of Nagasaki, was named Batman and weighed in at a whopping 10,200 pounds, which is roughly the size of a male elephant, to put it into perspective. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima killed approximately 70,000 people, and the bomb dropped on Nagasaki killed approximately 50,000 people. So together that's 120,000 people. To summarize, though a great discovery and an effective intimidation tool, the atomic bomb should only be used in dire situations. The damage it can cause is not only immediate but long-lasting. Here's a quote from Dr. Robert Oppenheimer. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." This is after the first test of the atomic bomb in Los Alamos, New Mexico. My clincher is, I challenge you all to visit the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. to see the Enola Gay and other interesting artifacts from World War II and other eras. Thank you.